Alrighty, welcome everyone to this lecture. Today I'm going to be talking about trading money management and growing small accounts. Many times as traders, we sort of go aimlessly. We go right into trading without a plan, without goals, without risk management or anything like that. And I really hope with this lecture that we sort of, take a step back and see everything, with the big picture aspect of trading, which most traders don't, really realize. So starting with the topics, I'm going to be covering the mindset. I have a full lecture on this, and I'm going to put it in the description below so you guys can check that out. The second is going to be organizing yourself as a trader. Third, we're going to be talking about treating trading like the business it is, repetition and showing up daily, and the closing remarks. So beginning with the mindset. So I have a previous video, I believe it was my second to last previous video where I talk about really that trading is a mental endeavor more than anything else. Like most, mental games, once you realize that when you really conquer that mental side of yourself, everything else is seamless. Um, and in one of my previous videos, I talked about having a proper sort of, binary way of really engaging in your mindset of how you want to engage not only trading but your own life. And the simple five-step goals are really it's about really understanding the quality of your thinking and your ideas. So what are you really thinking about? What are your thoughts in relationship to trading? If you're really thinking of, I want to make like $10,000 in like a second or a minute or a week or whatever, if it's drastically so unrealistic and it becomes more gambling. So that quality of thinking that you have will influence that trading. So as we can see here, we go from our quality of thinking and ideas, which will then influence or affect those emotions. And your emotions are going to affect your actions, which will lead to an end result. And then that end result, hopefully, you would self reflect on that and it repeats over and over the same process. This relates, like I said, to life and in trading even more profoundly. So what you're thinking every day, those ideas, how you're thinking them, then influences those emotions, then your actions, and then your end result. So for example, if you going back to what I said with unrealistic expectations, if you go into trading and it's like your first, let's say, month or even week, many times you think like, all right, I'm gonna make $20,000 right away with $100 account. That quality of thinking, that mindset is gonna play and is gonna really tug on those emotions where you're gonna be like on a high, every time because you're trying to get such unrealistic results out of the market. Of course, it can be possible. I'm not saying it can't, but those probabilities, like I speak in my previous one of my previous videos, I talk about poker. What are the probabilities that you're gonna get a royal flush? For those of you who play poker, what are those probabilities that you're gonna get these really unrealistic results from that quality of thinking? And then it leads to those action where you're over leveraging your margin, things like that. It's not going to really result in something favorable for yourself. So the next topic I'm going to be talking about is going to be about organizing yourself as a trader. So in the beginning I talked about how we're sort of aimlessly doing our trading and our business and things like that. So by being organized and being efficient, you're able to see everything and understand everything from a business person's perspective. And the first topic is know your taxes of your country. So it's really important that you understand, taxes of your country is very, very crucial that you really, talk to a professional if need be and really understand the taxes behind both for profit and losses, which is crucial. Document everything. Documenting is so crucial to any business. I mean, you need to have everything, your PDF docs of everything. Your When you open your account, deposits, withdrawals. Sometimes some brokers even send daily transaction statements, so you could also get that, and any type of other tax forms or anything like that. Organize yourself, and even if you need to, print it out and have it physically, or at least create folders and organize it like an actual business, like we see in this photo. You're organizing everything, labeling everything, and keeping everything efficient. because this will alleviate problems in the future. You're building that foundation that all this will rely on. So the second thing is a trading log of transactions and others. Same thing as above. If you need to create, like for example, a trading spreadsheet, or any of you that use any type of those trading tracker platforms, that's totally fine. But something that you can track your trades and any transactions, such as data feeds, commissions. This is so crucial. This is such a crucial thing that most traders don't do. I would say a lot of traders are probably not tracking their trades and your equity. So you need to understand how much equity you have at any time, how much you've lost and made. This is remarkable. Especially you could put comments on those trades. I have a spreadsheet. I'll put it in the should be in the description below. It's a template you guys can use. It's absolutely amazing. The third is going to be equity planning. So whatever you need to understand and really plan out. Okay, so if I have, for example, $3,000, what am I going to be able to do with this $3,000? What are some realistic goals that I can go after, and how will that compound over time based on the situation you are in currently? If you have a job or anything like that, that's really, really important to understand. And that ties in also with risk management. You need to know how much you're willing to risk. Ideally, most people do anything between 5 to 3% and below. Sometimes, the ideal one is always 2%. That's the sweet spot. But again, it's up to you. You are the one that will decide what you're comfortable with in risking. And then the next one is going to be self-reflection memos. These are in your journal. You can use OneNote or whatever type of note taking you use, or even in your spreadsheet. That's fine. And you reflect on the decisions that you've made in your trading, how you felt, how you were going in the day, what you could have improved throughout the day, and how you would act differently going in next time. That's absolutely crucial because it ties back into what we talked about, where you're thinking and reflecting that chain of reaction, your emotions, and then your actions, and then that end result, and then you self-reflect on what you just did. But it all ties back into how you thought first, and that through that repetition, you're going to see a change dramatically. And then the next one is recording your trades. So you guys can use OBS or any type of trade recorder. um, by recording your trades and even recording your mic, you can, and talking to yourself in a way, you see how you feel, and how you can feel your emotions within your voice, and also visually, you're seeing what you're thinking at the time, and how you were planning a trade, or what you could have maybe done differently, or if maybe you got out early, or maybe you got out too late. So recording trades is also a very, very, very pivotal tool that you can use within your trading journey. And having this is also very, very important, is really having monthly, weekly, and daily goals. Just like any business, like I talked about before, is that all businesses have goals that they need to meet, for monthly, weekly, and daily. They have that. Some of you, for example, may not necessarily be trading every day, so that daily part, isn't as crucial. Maybe it's a weekly goal. I want to make, for example, $500 for this week. Okay, break that down with the amount of risk that you're able to, and see how can you get to that level, that success. Because really, if you're able to set a goal and you accomplish that in the time frame that you set yourself, that's already a success. But many people don't realize that, because it's so aimless in their trading journey that they're not organized in their mind, which will then reflect in their real world, which is their trading. So this was a spreadsheet that I was talking about earlier. Like I said, treat trading like the business it is, because it is a business at the end of the day. And if you're not bookkeeping, you're not accounting for yourself, and you don't know where each dollar is going, like any business, over time that'll build up, and your numbers might reflect off. You might one day say, wait, why is this like that? Or maybe there's areas in which you can improve. So it's super crucial that you treat it like a business. For example, here, this is an equity forecasting template. And as you can see, I have the monthly equity starting at $5,000. Again, you guys can, this number can be any number you want, whatever number you're depositing into that account. You know, that's going to be the number that you're going to put as your beginning, and we're in August, for example. And then you have your monthly goal. For example, let's say you want to make 16% every month. Again, this can be any number, 12%, whichever. And your risk per trade will be, let's say, 3%. So by looking at price like this, like I said, it makes it so seamless, and it removes the FOMO and all these different things to where you know what you're looking for, how much you need, and when you need to stop. So for example, your daily goal, if you want that monthly goal, you need to make at least $40 a day, or you need to make $200 per week. Now, if you really think about this, if you have a proper trading plan and you go for at least a 1-to-1 on average, you can easily crush this weekly goal with absolutely no problem. Now, let's say for example you get to that 800, let's say within the second week, let's just say, you know, at that point you need to think to yourself and say, do I continue trading or do I stop it here? I've met my goals for the month. You know, you could stop right there. And that's one of the biggest, this really decision making process, sorry, that many traders don't really look into. You know, if you met your goal, okay, let's say if you really want to go back into trading, reduce that risk. Instead of 3%, drop it to 1.5 or even half a percent, and see how you go throughout the rest of the month. Because by reducing that risk, you know that, okay, I've already made that monthly goal. I don't want to take away from those gains, because then you'll have to build back on that. So that's absolutely important. And you can see that over time by compounding that, and this doesn't include any other deposits. Of course, if you want to add more deposits, same thing. By, you know, month over month, you know, you see yourself growing and being patient. Because as you can see here, with if we never deposit any money into this account except for the 5,000, you know, you're only gonna be at you're just reaching 100,000 by May of 2026. So we're talking about roughly 2 years. It'll take you a little less than 2 years to get to the 100K mark by compounding 16% monthly, by risking 3% with the starting equity of 5,000. It's patience. Patience is so crucial to your journey, you know. And some of you might be asking, okay, what if I don't have, you know, I don't have that much equity, or how can I put more money into it? That's understandable. There are other ways you can get income nowadays. There's things like prop firms, there's like Top Step, FTMO, etc. You know, with this gives you the ability to have access to more capital. Of course, nothing will ever reach the level of of how it's like trading with actual life funds, but at least with the prop firms, you have a low barrier of entry, and that way you can access bigger funds, which will then you could pool that into your personal trading account. You also have YouTube AdSense, where you could share your journey, and you know, YouTube will pay in ads depending on if you reach the requirements or do other things of that nature. You have affiliate marketing. You could also do side hustles and many other things. So there's a lot of ways. You just have to really think about it. And there's so many creative ways where you can fund this account. Nowadays, especially, you know, we're living in an age, the digital age, where there's so many opportunities everywhere. You just have to really keep your eyes open and your ears open and see those opportunities for yourself. Now, this is a big one. Um, Number one, most people don't realize, like I was talking about earlier, that since trading is such a mental endeavor, and that's, you know, that psychological strain, that pressure that you have as a trader, meaning that most people won't be suited for this in the long run. 80% of traders, based on estimations, will quit within their first 2 years. That's a lot. Like, and I would probably even go to say that that last 20%, let's drop it, if we're talking about within the first 5 years, would put that number at least at 90%. And it's really goes back to not having that foundational perspective over perception. By really treating trading like the business it is, and doing what you have to do, the quality decisions, quality thinking, and that repetition, showing up daily, journaling, noting, recording, all these different things. If traders would do this, this number could reduce by half. just in that aspect, because it's not necessarily the strategy, it's the mindset. The mindset is what's going to drive you the furthest in this industry, and people don't really realize that. So by focusing on your mental and psychological and organizing yourself like a business, you're going to see results that you didn't see ever within, it's going to be a patient game. It's a marathon, not a sprint, as they say. It's going to take time, but through that repetition, you will see results. And in closing, I have a quote from Jack, and he's the author of Market Wizards, and he says, "The hard work in trading comes in the preparation. The actual process of trading, however, should be effortless." So once we realize that initial phase of trading, before you even open that chart or whatever you're using to trade your DOM, before you even do any of that is the thought itself and the actions that lead you up to whatever you're doing before you trade and how you feel, and having a goal, having a plan before you engage, not necessarily going in random. So I hope this lecture was useful to all of you. Please feel free to comment down below, and I really appreciate your time for watching this lecture. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks for watching.